Welcome back to Iron Rage, the show where John Romano and I vent our frustrations with the world. Lee Priest is on vacation, going to the Arnold, Brazil. Today's topic, people who stink in the gym. John, people have been saying we've been too nice the last couple of weeks, so I'm going right after things that really irk and annoy me, and I can't stand people that smell. What possesses people to go to the gym, John, stinking like a freaking racehorse?
I don't think they know, to be honest.
You know, you can smell it. When you smell that bad, you can smell yourself.
I don't know, man. I just remember distinctly one time getting ready to do one-arm rows. And I'm like putting the strap on, like I'm down on the floor. I got the dumbbell on the floor, and I have one hand up on the rack, and I'm like wrapping the other hand on the dumbbell, and I'm just getting ready to go. And I'm psyching myself up. They were like 150s. And I'm getting ready to go, and I'm ready to pull that first rep, and this guy walks past me, man, with a green freaking cloud following him. Good Lord, I never smelled anything like that on a human being before in my entire life. My like nostrils, and you know what happens? That stench gets like it's on your nose hairs, and you smell it for the rest of the fucking day. You know, you can't get rid of him.
In probably 1991, I worked at a gym, Metroflex gym. A Metrofit gym, excuse me, not to be confused with Metroflex, in Westchester, and there was a kid who worked there, a young kid, he was about 18 years old or something like that, and he stunk so bad, this kid, that my ex and I used to call him Stinky. And so whenever he would come into the building or we'd see him something, because we used to see this kid everywhere. That always happens whenever you have someone that annoys you. We'd be like, it's Stinky, right. It's Stinky. And he would always go to shake my hand, and I would be afraid, like you said, because if you bump into them by accident, and that stink rubs off on your shirt, you got to throw the shirt. You got to burn the shirt. There's no way to get the stench out of it. You could wash it 400 times. You'll never get that smell out of it. I don't even know what the smell is.
So people have the weirdest odors. I mean, I smell people that stink like ammonia, and you know, God knows what's going on inside their bodies that are producing those kind of horrendous stenches. But you brought up Bleckman before. You know, he used to go out and eat these freaking dinners loaded with like garlic. When like garlic came in, and you know, like garlic first came out. The studies showed that was an antioxidant, blood cleaner, or whatever. So Bleckman would order plates of chopped garlic, raw garlic, at the table. And because, you know, every restaurateur in New York is just scared to death of Steve Bleckman, so God forbid he stop eating at his restaurant and they go out of business. So they will do anything to accommodate him. So there's this giant plate of chopped garlic on the table, and Bleckman is spreading it on a piece of bread with a butter knife. Mouthful of just raw garlic. On top of the red wine and everything else.
Yeah.
The next day in the gym, I got to train with this guy. His pores must have been on strike because everything was coming out. It was like, are you kidding me? I couldn't stand within 4 feet of him, throwing spot him, you know, or whatever. And everybody would, but because he's Steve Bleckman, everybody's scared to death of him back in the Twin Lab days. No one would say anything. So he'd walk around the gym with the green cloud following him. And everybody, oh, Steve, muscular development, you know, and now Print is dead, and he still stinks.
No, but I remember because he was a big. It would be garlic and olive oil, and I mean, we would come back from some brunch or lunch, whatever, when he would get the egg white omelet with the garlic and olive oil on it, and it was, I mean, it would be oozing out of his pores. Now, my wife now, Amanda, if I have a pickle that has a little garlic in it, I'm not allowed in the house, like, you know, because it stinks so bad. So I don't even do any garlic. But we're not talking garlic. We're talking body odor smells. John, and I'm sure you've experienced this too. How about these women? How about the women in the gym who do 3 hours of cardio, and the stench is not only coming from their armpits, it's coming from down low too.
Now, women, I'm sorry, but, you know, God bless you, but some of you have this affliction. The shit stinks down there, you know, but either whether it's the drugs they're taking or the lack of hygiene or whatever, but a girl walks by a certain time of the month, it smells like a fucking old coffee can just got opened up. So now I'm like, what the hell? Can't you smell that? You know, it's like, you would leave the house? If my garbage can smelled like that, I would fucking wash it out, you know?
Now, John, here's the question now. We put it out there. What's the proper thing to do? Like, if you encounter someone in the gym and they smell, like you said, maybe they don't know. Do you tell them? What if they are a serial stinker? Like, every single time you see them in the gym, they stink. Should you tell them?
Unfortunately, as a gym owner, I've had to deal with this crap, you know, in real life. You know, 7 members come up to you and say, that dude over there stinks. It's worse when it's a woman, like you just mentioned, you know. And I got to go over there and say something because they're driving my customers out of the building, you know. And it's a delicate conversation. You got to say, you know, I don't know if you've been noticed, but, you know, no one has been able to step within 12 feet of you. If you notice, every machine you've just used, the oilcloth is like melting off you. So,
what do they say when you say that to them, John?
What?
What do they say when you tell people they stink?
What? Some people, different reactions. Some people are mortified, like they had no idea, and they feel terrible. They run out of the gym's home, and you never see them again. And so you got to lose 1 member, lose 7 members.
Right.
It's, you know. Yeah, and the other people deny it, you know, and then, you know, just somebody, the normal response is, you know, they're sorry, they'll, you know, change their shirt. But, you know, I really don't think that anybody, well, let's couch that. I really don't think that most people, if they really smelled themselves. I mean, you've done it too, like especially in Florida, when you live in a humid place, the shirt comes out in a dryer, not all the way dry, and they put it in the drawer, and then you take it out and your body heats it up, and all of a sudden you're like, that mildew smell comes out.
Oh, I hate that. Yeah.
Yeah, so you go home and you change your shirt, or you buy a T-shirt or whatever. But I think intentionally, I think you got to be a real douche to intentionally know that you stink and go to the gym.
There's people that are, you know, anti-deodorant. I remember Scott Conley, when I was working for Metrics, went through a time period where he wasn't using deodorant because he thought it was, you know, it probably does poison us. I'm sure the heavy metals in it, we're probably killing ourselves with the deodorant, but at least we smell good. He stunk, and, you know, he was trying to use the natural deodorants. They just don't work, you know?
Well, you know, women... There's been a lot of cases of women getting breast cancer, and they say the cause is underarm deodorant. Really? And they make their own. They use those rocks. None of that shit works. No. So I mean, you know, and it's usually the women who are, you know, afflicted with this kind of hippie idea that they're going to not use deodorant so they don't get cancer, and they're going to make their own out of, you know, camel fur and, you know, toad liver oil and rocks, and they're usually the ones that don't shave their armpits also. So
we just talked about that.
Or they're friends. And the hair adds some, you know, more, you know, stench to the equation.
Tyler, the creator, dated a girl who had hairy armpits, right, Tyler?
I broke up once she got the hairy armpits.
Well, you date a girl from Europe. A lot of girls from Europe don't shave their. Now they're really cute blonde, you know, blondes with. Girls with a very fine, you know, blonde hair, that doesn't really, you know, bother you that much. But those girls from like Tunisia or Sudan, and they got like fucking Rapunzel hair coming out of their at their armpit, you know. There's the other story about the knight who's climbed the tower, thought it was Rapunzel, and the hair out of her underarms, not her.
So what do you do, John? I mean, let's say you're working at a gym and you're not the owner of the gym, and someone. Every single day they come in, they stink. I remember there was a guy at this gym, one of the first gyms I ever worked at. He was always running around like a lunatic, sweating he was probably on cocaine or something like that, sweating his balls off. He stunk. He always was trying to put his arm around everyone, and everyone was like just running from this guy, and he just stunk. And everyone wanted to just say something, and no one had the balls to do it. Finally, I think I don't know if it was the gym owner or one of the trainers there finally had to talk, and the guy fucking got all insulted and left. But I mean, we were thanking him. We were like, thank you for sacrificing this membership. We can't take this guy anymore. You know, it's repulsive.
I had to throw a guy out for stinking. He just wouldn't, you know, Too many people complained about him. He wouldn't change. He wouldn't, come in with. Yeah, I think it looked like he just balled his stuff up and put it in the car and then took it out again the next day.
Yeah, a lot of people do that. You're right.
It's packed in something.
The people who put their shirt in the locker and just keep taking it out, the same shirt every day, and they never wash it.
Right. So I had to refund his money, give him his membership back because he wouldn't clean up his act and he stunk too bad. I had to get rid of him. But they do all kinds of crazy shit. It's not just stinking. It's the sweating. It's the not cleaning up after themselves. I had this one guy who had the only one stepper he would use. He couldn't use any other one but that one over there.
Right.
And it had a mat under it, and he would just skid on it. He was really hairy guy, and he would just sweat and sweat and sweat and sweat, and he wore the Crocs, those rubber Crocs,
yeah.
And he was done. You hear him squish, 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 walking away, and I'm like, what the fuck? You just like Noah gonna build an ark with that much water you left behind, and he wouldn't clean it up. So I and I put a sign up there, especially for him, dry off the machine. Next day, same thing, puddle. People are complaining. It's not only the disrespect and the unmitigated gall of anybody to actually do that, but because it's insulting to you, the money you put into the place, your gym, you're at everything. But it's on top of that, it's the people complaining about it. Yeah. So not only do you have him, but you got them. And it's like a two-edged sword. So you got to appease them. You got to get rid of him. So the sweat guy would just freaking keep sweating, and he would not stop. So I get rid of him too.
The bottom line, guys, is showers are not only meant for after the gym. If you wake up in the morning and you stink, take a shower, put deodorant on, go to the gym, work out, and then later if you want to take another shower, that's fine. But you owe it to the people at the gym to be respectful and courteous of how you smell and present yourself. And if you sweat a lot, bring a towel to the gym and wipe the machines down. There's nothing worse than having to sit on a machine that's loaded with someone else's sweat after you're done. It's poor hygiene and it's poor manners. Stop the insanity.
And all that sweat shows where the dust is on the machine too. So you're doubly insulting me by
you create mud.
Showing me
you create mud out of the dust, right?
How not clean my machine is.
There you go. Take those words to heart. No more stinking. I don't want to see it. I don't want to smell it. I don't want to hear about it anymore. I'm Dave Palumbo with John Romano for another episode of Iron Rage.
And wear clean clothes too, you slop.
Amen.